Welcome to the Creative Arts Project. I call it more a project because it seems to be ongoing. It is not a class that you end. No, it's continuous, apparently. So it's a creative flow that you're invited to. So welcome to this creative flow that we call the healing arts. And it's flowing in you, through you, and you're being used as an instrument, as an extension. And so to make sure that we align with the source in us that is actually, say, giving this all to us as say, material for children to play. It's a bit like that. So it's like, yeah, become like little children. And it's not complicated. It is just allowing yourself to be that. And so we work really from still place, from stillness, from letting everything go again, being open, not linking things to the past, just to have an absolute open system to receive something new, and not to not to establish ourselves in this world or anything, not to come to a great production or anything. No, but to be in that place and to feel that connection with your source. That is where the fulfillment is. It's in that moment that you actually feel that. And all the rest is like supporting. It might become redundant. It might just dissolve the way that you do it, or the practicality of it. The form that you chose might even not be of any importance, but the flow that you're experiencing and coming closer to that and allowing yourself to trust that is really where this is for, to grow that certainty in that and see that this creative passion is available all the time. It doesn't stop at all. So it's only stopped by your ideas about it. And so to deeply connect with this quietness, with this stillness, I found one of the miracle prayers from A Course in Miracles that I love to use in this moment to align in ourselves with that place that where all the happiness comes from. So I'll read it to you. The stillness of the peace of God is mine. The invitation here. Perhaps we are now ready for a day of undisturbed tranquility. If this is not yet feasible, we are content with even more than satisfying to learn how such a day can be achieved. If we give way to disturbance, let us learn how to dismiss it and return to peace. We need but tell our minds with certainty, the stillness of the peace of God is mine, and nothing can intrude upon the peace that God Himself has given to His Son. Father, your peace is mine. What need do I have of fear that anything can rob me of what you would have me keep? I cannot lose your gifts to me, and so the peace you gave your Son is still with me, in quietness and in my own eternal love for you. Father, your peace is mine. What need have I to fear that anything can rob me of what you would have me keep? I cannot lose your gifts to me, and so the peace you gave your Son is still with me, and is with me still, in quietness and in my own eternal love for you. So the invitation now is for a moment to dive into that love for you, the love for your Father. So we will close our eyes and be quiet for a moment just to allow that. And don't forget to breathe and to release anything that's in the way of fully coming into the love experience, so to speak, to love your Father with all of your heart. Yeah, that's great. So, coming from this place, entering into, say, an assignment or an idea that you want to deal with, that you want to work out, whether it's artistically or not, is then you give up ideas. You keep giving up ideas. No, that's not it. No, that's not what I'm going to do. No, I cannot come up with the idea of what is going to happen. So all my ideas I put aside. This is not any different than an artist would paint its canvas. You know, you wait and wait and wait until you have lost all ideas, and suddenly you find yourself painting. So this is for instance, and one of the ways to get to that. And in our exercises that we do in this class, that's a part that is important, because you will come to the end of your ideas, because your ideas can be great for a moment, but they're different. They have a different energy than if something moves you and suddenly, boof, there it is. Like it becomes an adventure and a discovery for you. So and that's essential in the way that we do this course and project. It's really a project, you know. So whether it is trying to put words together, or trying to receive the words for a poem, or first struggle with it. No, that's not it. A bunch of paper on the side, like, oh no, that's not it either. And suddenly there's something like, oh wow, that has a certain beauty that's literally not of this world. I love that. Wow, look at that. And actually you feel, and this is really important, you feel at the same time that you allow yourself the freedom to express yourself like that. So that has a lot to do with that. So that's when I compose music too. It's like suddenly I see that, oh no, there are no rules. Wait a minute, I try to compose something that should look like this. No, that's not the way that it works. So what if I just allow this to say develop, and trust all the movements that I make in it, and all the things that are occurring that I didn't expect to happen at all, and same thoughtlessly do. Then there's a surprise. Then there's a discovery for you, which you really feel like, oh my God, I allowed myself more freedom this time to let that occur. And it will always give you something. It's like it is moving. It's creative. So it's like it also changes continuously in terms of it is fresh. It is a fresh inspiration. So that can be that when you compose something, like whether it's a poem or a piece of music, or even a design for a painting, you come to the place where, in your next encounter with it, you see, oh, I did that way. Oh, look at this here. This can be added to it too. Oh my God, I take this away, and oh, look at that, how that flows. Like unbelievable how this is put together. So this is the flow process, and I'm saying this very quickly, and I know it's really a process to come into it, but it's worth working from this stillness, and allowing things to be new continuously, and not set in a format like it has to look like this. Okay, you can use some kind of structure, sure. You can use a certain structure, for instance, in your poems, or in any way, like you can use a rhythm in the music, sure. But even in that, then there's a variety that's possible that you have no idea about. Like, in fact, it is infinite possibilities. So this creative part is like, I can illustrate it, for instance, with the piano. So you have these 88 notes, like 88 tones that you can use to express yourself. See, and these 88 notes are not in any way a limiting factor. No, it's just like a frequency, a span of frequency that you decide to use to express yourself. But in that, there's an infinite variety of melody. an infinite variety of say loud, of dynamics, like loud, quick, slow, with reverb, with pizzicato, like really shortly played with a short attack, so to speak. So like that is, I could play on a piano every day, something new that never anyone has played. I can do this for eternity. And it's the same with words. Like how many characters in an alphabet? Like, okay, in Dutch it's 26. So I don't know in English. Also something like that. It's like unbelievable. So 25, 26 of them, and I can write something every day that I've never written before. Like an infinite variety of all these characters. So amazing. And then the expression of the human voice. That's really like a source of infinite expression. And you probably never saw it like that. But it's like, look at what you can do with your voice. We come to that, say, in the last session that we do. But it's just amazing. You know, it's like loud, high, low, everything in between, half notes, semitones, even in between semitones. You can go through the whole spectrum, and you can use your throat. You can use you get what I'm saying. It's not that difficult, but it's more like you're not always aware that is the case. So that's the same with poetry that we use, like the words that we use. Okay, so we have a lot of choice, and that makes it seems like it gives you a bit of like choice stress. But to stay out of that, to come from your still place and allow just like an open mind to get to work, so to speak, it makes it very simple and very easy. And also coming to the place where you trust, like, oh, I really feel it coming up now. I really feel that I want to, suddenly I find myself with a paper and a pen, and it's happening. So you don't even have to decide to do it. Suddenly it's there. So in trusting these impulses is really beautiful and very helpful in being creative. And people always, I heard this say a lot, like when you're a creative person, you cannot be productive. Like if you had to be productive, it would take away the creativity. And that's, for some people it might be true, but it is actually not true, because this is where you're tapping into is the passion of creative mind that has nothing to do with a personal mind. It's really beyond that altogether. So this is so easy to check, because I had it the other day. I was busy with a canvas with some wool, gluing it to the canvas and making some kind of say composition with it. Very simple. Now I go to Instagram. I see in Venice there's like a great art exhibition, Biennale or whatever it is called. And I see a person that actually made the same work as I did. Like same idea, little different form, but same idea. And you see, like, well, these ideas are not personal. You receive them. Like, yeah, you tap into, we're from the same source. There's no differences in that. It's like we come from oneness. So this is how this works too. It's like you cannot even put your name on it actually, because it's not yours. It is not, there's no copyright on it in principle, because you receive it in that moment while you make it. So if you would really make it, you would have a product. But this is a creation. It is something that flows through you and you find yourself expressing it. It's a self-expression. And so that's fun to check out, because your ideas, you might find them back in and in all the available images that you can see these days. And you see your own ideas like, oh my God, it's the same as what I was doing. I can't believe it. And so they won a great prize. That's a pity. No, it's not about that. See, that's what I mean. It's like, it's not about that to become successful or to do this or that. It's not excluded, like it's not that that is not possible. No, it's not where it's about. But it's more like, that's not your intention. And it's good to realize that that isn't it. Because when you realize that it is giving you, and you love to tap into the flow of creation, of letting yourself be the instrument of self-expression with a capital S. Of course, there's beauty flowing through you and expressed through you. It's inevitable. And innocence and beauty and say joyfulness. So all these characteristics that we call characteristics, but in fact is just all part of oneness, expressed in, you can express it in movement, but you can express it in some voice too, in singing or in music. There can be joy in it. There can be such a deep longing in it, and everything, maybe a high expectancy. Or who knows what you want, what flows through you to express, to be expressed. But one thing for sure is then you don't hold back. You allow it to expand as much as it happens to you. Why not? So giving yourself the permission for that freedom of self-expression is what I love to give away, because I experienced myself as great joy when I discovered that I give that to myself too. So, okay, so this is the little introduction into this class, and yeah, in class we continue.